Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Adishala, the gifted researcher. Today, I want to introduce you to the meaning of research. At the end of this module, you will be able to define research correctly and define research citing at least three authors. The first definition that I will be given this time is that of the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines research as a studious inquiry or examination, especially investigation or experimentation aimed at the discovery and interpretation of facts, revision of accepted theories or laws in the light of new facts, or practical application of such new or revised theories or laws. Let me explain this definition to you. The first word you need to pay attention to is studious inquiry. It is studious because it requires persistent effort. You going through journals, articles, you having to interview authors in an attempt to inquire, in your attempt to find out. It is also an examination. You want to examine facts. You want to examine previous and recent facts. You want to compare these facts. The dictionary goes further saying that especially investigation is not different from inquiry, finding out, or experimentation, trying out in the lab or somewhere else, and that this trying out, this experimentation is aimed at discovery. You want to discover and as well interpret facts. As you lay your hands on fact, you begin to come across new understanding. You acquire new knowledge and you come up with deductions from the facts. And as such, you want to revisit, that is, revise accepted theories, theories that are. You want to review theories which are conceptual framework for understanding the behavior of entities in the universe. You want to look at laws. You want to revisit those laws. Do they still apply till this day? And you are doing this in the light of new facts because you have the most recent fact. And this is what your revision is going to be based upon. Or is it that you want to make effort to apply those laws, those theories in new situations in order to solve problems of the human race? So these are the activities that research entails. So as a student, you should understand that when you engage in your final year project, it is your attempt to inquire. You are going to be asking questions. You are going to be studying previous uh, projects, previous works, previous studies that have been conducted in an area of concern to you. You are an investigator. You are also going to be an experimenter. You are a discoverer, finding out. You are on a voyage of knowing. You want to know. You may have to revisit accepted theories. You want to see whether they still hold. You may have to re engineer the previous laws in the face of new facts. So, you are also coming up with practical ways of making use of those theories and laws in the real life situations that can help to solve specific human problems. And this is the explanation of the first definition given by Merriam-Webster dictionary. I move on to the next definition, which is that of J. Francis Rummel. J. Francis Rummel defines research as an endeavor or an attempt to discover, similar to what the Merriam-Webster dictionary was saying. It is your attempt to discover, your movement from unknown to known, your movement towards discovery, towards finding out, towards expanding the body of knowledge, towards covering new grounds. So, as you do that, you develop and verify knowledge, knowledge in science, knowledge in the humanities, knowledge in social science. As you review theories, as you review laws, you add to the already existing body of knowledge. And at times, you may have to review knowledge that does not apply again in the face of new fact. The author goes further saying it is an intellectual process. It is a process. Research has slated processes that should be followed, and that this process has been developed over hundreds of years, and it is ever changing in purpose depending on the area of study, depending on the amount of time that is available, depending on the competence on the parts of the experimenter, the researcher. It is changing in form as always, and it is always researching to the truth. So, the essence of a research is to discover the truth. Please take note of that. You want to discover the truth, and your truth is going to be based on facts. Fact. That is the explanation of the second definition given by J. Francis Rummel. Let's proceed. The next one is the definition of John W. Best. John W. Best. John W. Best defines research as the secret of our cultural development. Did you hear that? That's highly fascinating to me. The secret of our cultural development. Telling you that as the human race, we would not have been so civilized as we are if not because of research. Research is constantly being carried out to understand the behaviors of human beings among other human beings. And you can see that our universe, our Earth, is now just a village, a global village, interconnected, each part depending on the other. So, this would not have been possible if not because of research. He says that research continues to push back the areas of ignorance, what we did not know. Then we have been able to move from that to what we now know. It is pushing back ignorance. It has pushed back ignorance in the past concerning the shape of the earth. Some used to believe that earth was flat, whereas it is spherical in shape. So research continues to push back our areas of ignorance as we uncover new places, new areas, and as we move the frontier of knowledge ahead. So we discover, by discovering new truth, we discover new truth, and which in turn leads to better ways. It in turn leads to better ways of doing things. We now have better ways of communication, better ways of teaching, better ways of making friends, better ways of communicating, of advertising, selling our product. So this would not have been possible. So Wherever you are, whichever area you find yourself, you need the knowledge of research to attain better ways of doing things and to be able to come up with better products that would best meet the specific needs of the human race. The next definition is that of Clifford Woody. Clifford Woody says that research comprises defining and redefining problems. A problem is any impediment, any barrier. And as such, there are two kinds of problems in the universe. Problems that have to do with the nature of entities in our universe, the nature of human beings, the nature of plants, the nature of other animals. Do you get that? You want to understand, for instance, their reproductive system. You want to look at their psychological constitutes, their emotional components, and the rest of it. There might be problems that have to do with that. There might also be problems that have to do with the interaction between entities in the universe. In the society, as we have two, three more within a community, they interact. What are the problems that influence? What are the factors that influence this interaction? So these are areas where problems can be identified. And because problems are so many and you cannot solve all of the problems at once, there is the need for you to redefine the problem, limit it in scope to what affects you at work, for instance, in your community, for instance. As you redefine the problem, you want to formulate a hypothesis, which is a guess concerning what is likely going to be the outcome of this your study. And you also want to identify the suggested solutions. So as you formulate a hypothesis, you want to find out, you want to validate or reject, disprove this your hypothesis. You can only do that except you collect information, you collect data. So you go ahead collecting data, collect the data, and as you collect the data are going to be such that they are so modeled up and are so difficult to relate with. But as you organize them based on the attributes they have in common, and you also are able to differentiate them based on the differences, you now become exposed to some of the hidden facts. So organizing the data eventually allows you to be able to evaluate based on what you have done, what you have identified, what you have become familiar with concerning the hidden fact. And you want to also make deductions. You're making deductions, and these deductions would allow you to read meaning to the evaluated data. And you also want to reach conclusions, reaching conclusions, submissions. But these conclusions would only be partially reached because at last you have to carefully compare them. You have to test whether the conclusions fit with your hypothesis that you stated at the beginning. And this will tell you whether the hypothesis can be rejected or cannot be rejected. I hope this is clear. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification button so that you do not miss out as I post my videos. Thank you